In today's video, I'm going to show you how I lost fat during perimenopause and menopause when nothing else was working. If you are in menopause or perimenopause and you're dieting, cutting out foods or food groups, going to the gym, doing more and more cardio, but the scale is not moving, and you're starting to feel frustrated or ashamed of your body, this video is for you. Menopause fat loss doesn't fail because you're lazy. It fails because most women are told to do the opposite of what their physiology actually needs during this phase. Hi, I'm Zita, I'm a nutrition and fitness coach, and together with my partner Terry, a neuropsychology and body image coach, we help women and men over 40 stop fighting their bodies and finally lose fat in a way that's sustainable, enjoyable, and actually works during menopause and perimenopause. Today, I want to show you what changed everything for our clients and for me as well. Expectations versus reality. Most women are told that if fat loss isn't working during menopause, they should just eat less and move more. So they add more cardio, they cut more food, they avoid desserts, and they're just trying to be good. But during menopause and perimenopause, doing more cardio without smart strength training can make fat loss harder and not easier. Menopause and perimenopause changes how your body responds to stress, food, and restriction. And here's the truth that really shocked me when I lived it myself. Menopause fat loss is less about burning more calories with like crazy cardio sessions and more about relearning your relationship with food. It's so important. And yes, that includes eating desserts. Let me explain. One of the biggest mistakes I see women make during perimenopause and menopause is trying to outrun fat loss. Long cardio sessions, daily HIIT sessions, more sweat, more exhaustion, and on top of this, they just eat less and less. During perimenopause and menopause, estrogen declines and fluctuates. This alters insulin sensitivity, fat distribution, stress tolerance, and recovery capacity. The body becomes more sensitive to stress signals. So excessive restriction and high volume cardio increases cortisol levels, this stress state, and chronically elevated cortisol promotes fat storage, particularly visceral fat around the abdomen, and it interferes with recovery and muscle retention. And that's why for many women, doing more leads to doing worse. When you are in this state, your body doesn't feel safe. And a body that doesn't feel safe will hold on to fat. And this is exactly where I was. I was training hard, I was eating clean, I was eating very little though, avoiding treats and wondering why my body fat stuck and inflamed. What actually changed everything wasn't doing more. It was doing things differently. The biggest shift was food, not force. The biggest change I made was relearning how to eat during menopause, not dieting, forget dieting, not restricting, not cutting joy out of my life. If you know me, you know that I have a sweet tooth. I love sweets. So most women struggling with meno belly fat are dealing with unstructured meals, not enough protein, fear around food, and then evening cravings or overeating. Your body isn't broken, it's changing, it's underfueled and overstressed. When I changed how I ate, my body finally started responding. And I see this over and over again with our clients. So one of our clients, Sarah, came to us feeling completely defeated. She tried multiple diets, keto, low carb, you name it, she tried it. But her weight wasn't moving. It was actually she was still gaining weight. She was bloated, she lacked energy and mental clarity, and her confidence was gone. She felt like perimenopause had stolen her body, and we didn't put her on another strict plan. We gave her structure, regular meals, enough protein, balanced carbs and fats, and permission to enjoy food again. And as soon as her body felt safe and fueled, fat loss followed. Not overnight, of course. There are no There's no magic wand that does that, but consistency. And more importantly, she stopped feeling at war with her body. We created the right hormonal and nervous system environment for fat loss to occur. This next part surprised most women. I eat dessert every day. Yes, I do. And many of our clients do too. Not because dessert is magic, but because deprivation creates obsession, or in other words, restriction amplifies reward value. When foods are forbidden, the brain assigns them urgency and emotional power. When foods are planned and structured, that urgency disappears. We had a client who loved Snickers. He would either avoid them completely or binge on them. So we helped him create a macro-friendly version of his favorite dessert. Same flavors, same satisfaction, totally different structure. Chronic restriction increases psychological stress, and stress directly interferes with fat loss during menopause. When dessert is accounted for within total energy intake and macronutrient targets, it does not block fat loss. What blocks fat loss is inconsistency driven by deprivation. Once food felt safe again, consistency became easy and fat loss followed. Another example, Jessica came to us feeling uncomfortable in her body and avoiding her favorite outfits. She had gained weight during menopause and just didn't recognize herself anymore. She felt embarrassed, anxious, and totally stuck. Over 6 months, we didn't chase perfection. We built habits, structured meals, enough protein, daily movement, strength training, and a healthier relationship with food. And she lost 25 pounds of fat, but more importantly, she regained confidence. She started wearing the clothes she loved again, and she finally trusted herself around food. And that's the real win. So let me make this very clear. Menopause fat loss works best when you focus on eating enough protein, drinking enough water, having structured meals with balanced nutrition, intentionally including desserts, and lifting weights, heavy weights. You do not need extreme diets. You do not need endless cardio, and you just need a system that supports your hormones and nervous system. Training still matters, just differently. So strength training is non-negotiable during perimenopause and menopause. Loss of estrogen accelerates age-related muscle loss around 1 to 2% per year, and muscle is a primary driver of resting metabolic rate, insulin sensitivity, and body composition. Smart strength training 2 to 4 times per week preserves lean mass, improves glucose disposal, supports metabolic health, and makes fat loss sustainable. This doesn't mean exhausting workouts. It means smart, targeted strength training that your body can recover from. I'm not talking about those hierarchy type, endurance focused strength training circuits that I see most of the women do in the gyms. I'm not talking about Pilates, I'm not talking about yoga. I'm talking about proper strategic strength training plan built for your personally, that addresses your medical history, your imbalances, your mobility, and your goals. So food creates the environment for fat loss, and strength training protects your metabolism. And here's the part most people don't like to hear. Most women don't fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because they are trying to do it alone. Menopause is confusing. The information overload online is confusing. Your body is changing, and Google and ChatGPT cannot tell you what's right for your body. I hear people creating nutrition and workout plans with Chat and Google, and let me tell you, not a good idea. They're great for idea generation. They're really good to give you some ideas, like recipe ideas, answering your questions, but definitely not to create a personalized plan for you. Having someone to guide you, answer your questions, adjust things when they stop working, and keep you consistent is what makes the difference. You only get one body, and you deserve to feel strong, confident, and at home in it. So my question is, would you rather be frail and weak and have an extremely poor quality of life, always worried if you're going to fall and break a hip? and not be able to lift your groceries? Or would you rather be robust and capable throughout the rest of your life? If you want help losing fat without extremes, shame, or restriction, you can book a call with us through the link in the description. And next, I recommend watching the video where I break down why what worked in your 20s and 30s stops working in your 40s and what to do instead. You're not failing, your body is changing, and with the right approach, you can change with it.